Welcome to the Jefferson Rural Clinic, where volunteers from our community give generously of themselves to bring medical and dental care to those in need. On June 9th, 2016, a crowd gathered to celebrate that 5,000 patients had been seen at the clinic.
It's the compassion and the caring for other human beings that makes this probably the greatest organization, the greatest function that Jefferson County has.
Proclamations were read and presented, and a prayer of rededication was offered.
Bless this building, Lord. Bless this waiting area.
It's the year 2004. In a cost-cutting move, TennCare begins reducing its coverage. Galvanized by these events, Kathy Marshall and Dr. Jay Brombach become convinced a free medical clinic is needed.
I asked Mike Hicks, the CEO at Jefferson Memorial, if we could have a space where we could have patients come, and then he mentioned this office and got permission from St. Mary's, so it was wonderful. I put an ad in the paper, and we were going to set up a get-to-know-you event here at the clinic, and a lot of people came.
In a little over 2 months, the clinic was ready. And on January 10th, 2005, the first patients were seen by Dr. Bill Acuff, a retired Knoxville physician. Community support poured forth, and by the end of March, 11 doctors and dentists, supported by teams of volunteers, had seen over 450 patients.
I grew up in this community. This community nurtured me, helped raise me. I was fortunate to come back and be able to live in the community that I was raised in. And this is just one of the ways I try to give back. It's sort of a neat connection because I'm working in the office where I used to come as a child, where Dr. John Ellis took care of me. And so it sort of like completes the circle for me in a way to come back and sit at his desk, sit in his office, and take care of patients in the same generous kind of way that he did for many years.
Soon, partnerships begin to form, none more fruitful than that with Dr. B.J. Ellington and Carson Newman University.
The Carson Newman students do their practicum for adolescent and adult in the spring of each year, and that's their last semester.
Starting in, I think, 2006, I made it mandatory that they spend 2 days in this clinic. And there have been several hundred students over the course of that time.
There have been Carson Newman students that have been really impacted by this. They all just develop such a heart for this population that I believe they carry into their practice lifelong. It just gives them that insight to know that no, everybody can't just go buy medications. Everybody can't just pay a copay.
This long-term partnership will account for over 1,500 appointments by the year 2016 and have a significant impact, one patient at a time.
We had a patient, just seemed like a routine visit, and the patient said something about her heart racing. And so I further asked, when does your heart race? And the woman said, only when my husband beats me. And we investigated that a little further and found out that this woman was being beaten regularly when her husband was drinking. We were able to make it safe for her. She did go home with her husband, but I ran into the husband on the sidewalk outside, and I had to talk with him. And I think just someone else knowing made a difference, because I kept track of them for years. And from that point, he turned around, he got into a program, he stopped drinking, he stopped beating her, and their marriage thrived. That's one story that really hits a nerve. It's happening here.
It's happening here, in a quiet little building on the edge of town.
Your clinic is fabulous. I mean, it is by far the best off-site of my office facility that I've ever been in. It was very clean. It was well equipped. You had everything that we needed.
One day, a woman came in, and in her check-in, she was very understated, communicated only as needed, no eye contact. She waited for an appointment. We sent her back, and one of our dentists worked on her.
She had some pretty serious decay on 2 of her front teeth. I went ahead and removed the decay that was there, and I said, I think you're really going to be happy with the way this looks. And we showed it to her, and immediately tears started coming down her face, and she had this biggest smile on her face, and she's like, I can smile again.
When she got through, I heard her thanking volunteers as she came down the hall.
She hugged me, and me and Joy were both crying because we had made her day, and we just felt so blessed by having the experience to.
And she came around the corner, threw her arms around me and said, thank you, thank you. She walked into the waiting room. She told everybody in the waiting room. She smiled. She opened her mouth.
She walked out of the front. She's like, look at my teeth.
And by the time that woman left out the door, everybody in the waiting room was crying. It was such a beautiful moment.
It's happening here.
There are a lot of patients in East Tennessee that don't have any way to get health care.
When you go to your doctor or you go to your dentist, you have the ability to be seen on an urgent basis for even a common cough or cold. You don't think twice about it, but so many people do not even have the ability to pay for a simple visit.
This clinic here provides care to patients free of charge for patients who qualify. First time that I came, I was hooked. It was such an amazing day, just a blessing to be able to be part of it.
I have worked in Jefferson County now for about 20 years. Of all the ways that I could volunteer and I could serve, this is one thing that I could possibly do. Give back to the community that's given so much to me. Everybody can do something to help the clinic. To count your blessings, there's lots of ways that you can give back and help your community.
It's happening here.
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 One day at a time, one person at a time, we make a difference in our world.